Alrighty, welcome everybody. How's everybody doing today? I am Taylor Twellman from ESPN, but more importantly, I was born in Apple Valley, Minnesota, and I was born into a Minnesota Kicks family. So today is a very special day. I know for my family at home. They're texting me as I've shown them pictures of this beautiful new stadium. It's an absolute gorgeous day, and I think it's extremely fitting that the sun is shining down on us here with the formal announcement that Allianz Field will be hosting a Gold Cup game in the summer of 2019. I was here a little less than 2 years ago to celebrate Minnesota United entering Major League Soccer. And I remember that day I was doing a bunch of interviews, and I said, I'm not surprised that Minnesota is entering the game, and they're going to be a huge player domestically. They're now a huge player internationally, and I am a little surprised that it's happened this quickly. So Dr. Bill McGuire, Ben Grossman, and the Minnesota United brass, well done on doing this the right way, and the right way very quickly. So a round of applause for that ownership group here at Minnesota United. As I said, I was born in Apple Valley, Minnesota, and I got to save a few of the words, take them out because they're a little off color, but I was pulling up to this stadium, and I sent a text to my dad, and I was hoping for something profound and something, in there. Needless to say, I can't tell you exactly what he said, but then he followed it up with this picture, and I think he hit the nail on the head. Picture next summer, pulling up here in St. Paul, Minnesota, and this stadium is filled with 19,500 red, white, and blue for the first competitive game for the United States of America since the debacle of Trinidad. The rebirth of the U.S. men's national team will be in a soccer community that has dedicated themselves for decades in supporting this game the right way, but the rebirth, so to speak, of Minnesota and the reintroduction of Minnesota to the global game will also come when the United States men's national team has to show up in a competitive game and restart their history. It's very difficult to articulate, but as I say that and I listen to my words, if you don't have goosebumps, if all of you here from Minnesota are not thoroughly enthused and pumped for next summer, then you know what? You might as well leave St. Paul, because this is going to be something that I don't think St. Paul's ever seen, and it is also going to be something where 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, we're going to look at it and say, that was the day Minnesota arrived on the international stage. Well, enough about me talking about Minnesota. I'm going to introduce and turn this press conference off to someone that's known me for a little more than 17 years. I was born in Apple Valley, Minnesota, but my career as a professional was born with Jürgen Meinke holding my hand. Jürgen, welcome.
Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Taylor. It was 18 years ago, so now I use glasses to read. You can tell it was 18 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bill McGuire, Mr. Ben Grossman, and the entire ownership group of Minnesota United FC. It is a pleasure to be here today among all the people who are truly writing a new chapter in the history of soccer in Minnesota for this special announcement. Chris Wright, CEO of Minnesota United, St. Paul Mayor, Mr. Melvin Carter, Minneapolis Mayor, Mr. Jacob Frey, Minnesota Governor, Mr. Mark Dayton, Minnesota United Sporting Director, Mr. Manny Lagos, Minnesota United Captain and World Cup bound Francisco Calvo, esteemed guests, members of the media, and of course, the amazing community and fans of Minnesota United. This distinguished company today, paired with a stage such as Allianz Field, which promises, by the way, to be one of the premier soccer venues around the world, could not be a better setup to make today's historic announcement even more special. Today, I couldn't be happier to announce on behalf of Concacaf that Allianz Field will play host to the 2019 Concacaf Gold Cup as an official venue, and that the metropolitan areas of St. Paul and Minneapolis will play host as an official market to this world-renowned competition. The Concacaf Gold Cup represents the pinnacle tournament for official international soccer in the region of North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. And it is only fitting that a state-of-the-art facility like this one will serve as the home for Gold Cup matches next summer. But this announcement is really not only about an amazing venue. It is much more than that. It is recognizing that the Minnesota region has been proving for years that it is indeed an amazing market for soccer. A market that has a rich history of clubs and players, as exemplified here by my good friend Taylor, and that since 2017 demonstrates it week in and week out with thrilling performances on the field by its own Minnesota United FC, as well as performances off the field by the club's dedicated, passionate, and knowledgeable fans. The tangible passion for the game in this particular region, paired with a world-class organization, and I say it truly, a world-class organization in Minnesota United FC, along with an unquestionable support and commitment from the cities and the state, brought all together by private investors committed to the world's game, have certainly been determinant factors in the decision process of Concacaf in choosing Minnesota as a first-time host for this Concacaf Gold Cup. The business and sporting model of cooperation that I see among really all of the entities and individuals represented here today is one that markets around the entire Concacaf region should be looking at as a best practice to recreate. Gold Cup will certainly help all of them see the magic that all of you are building in this place. As you know, Concacaf Gold Cup has expanded to 16 teams for next year. All of these 60 nations will be competing for the pride and joy of becoming the Concacaf Gold Cup champion in a tournament that for many of those players is the highlight of their professional soccer career. Today's announcement is the first step in that process towards next summer. We don't know yet what the other teams will be visiting Minnesota, but I'm sure that given the atmosphere to be on display at this particular venue, nations across CONCACAF will be lining up for a chance to play right here. As I see Francisco today, I'm sure he and his Costa Rican teammates would love for a chance to play in this very field. At the Confederation, again, we could not be more pleased to bring CONCACAF Gold Cup to the Twin Cities in this summer of 2019, along with a top-notch team of Minnesota United and the support of the cities of St. Paul and Minneapolis, and in the state of Minnesota. We're sure this event will be a great success for the cities, the state, and the club, as well as for the national teams that come and play and the thousands of fans that will flock to these cities to watch those matches. Along with all of you, I cannot wait personally, and I made a promise to both of the mayors, to be here next summer to watch the Gold Cup kickoff for the first time in Minnesota. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jürgen. I think I speak for all the American contingent. It'd be nice if CONCACAF allowed Trinidad to play the United States maybe in the opening game. Next up is a man that doesn't really need an introduction, but he has been a huge part of Minnesota United's rebirth over the last 7-8 months. CEO Chris Wright.
I would be remiss if the very first thing that I should do is just congratulate our team captain, Francisco Calvo, who yesterday was selected as part of the 23 players from Los Ticos, Costa Rica, to represent their country in the Russian 2018 World Cup. Francisco, congratulations. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Jürgen. Thank you for being here today. It's a beautiful day in Allianz Field. You must have brought the weather, and only imagine in about 12 months' time, in 2019, when two international teams walk out to play against each other on a Finnish stadium like this incredible sort of cathedral, this fortress that we're building. Today is incredible for a number of different people. Number one, it's incredible for our team. And so think about everybody who goes to work on the Minnesota United brand every single day. Think about our players. Think about our ownership group. Think about maybe 2 years ago, this team was playing at the National Sports Center in Blaine in front of 6,000 people. And here we are today, 2 years later, celebrating the fact that the Gold Cup is coming to Allianz Field in the Midway in Minnesota. How incredible is that for our franchise? How incredible will it be for our stadium, this stadium that will have an iconic atmosphere. It will have its own traditions. It will have its own lighting system. And as Taylor announces today, that we have the United States who will play their first meaningful game after his word, debacle in Trinidad and Tobago. Their first meaningful game will be played on this field in about a year's time. Imagine the lighting system, which will be able to show off the red, white, and blue of our country as that team sort of walks out onto this field. And then the other thing that we should be all so proud of is the fans of Minnesota. That 40-year history that Jürgen talked about, the incredible growth of the game, where the game is today, the incredible 14,500 season ticket base that we have today, the core of our fans will be able to come and see the U.S. national team play here in their home field, on their home stadium, on their home pitch. And what an atmosphere those fans are going to create for the U.S. national team. And so I'm very, very proud that for our club, for our stadium, and for our fans, we're here today to be able to announce these two games that are going to be played here come next summer. I also just want to thank a number of people. Number one, we wouldn't be here today without the incredible work of both Visit St. Paul. Thank you for everything that you have done to get us to this point whereby we're announcing this game today, and specifically Meet Minneapolis. And Melvin Tennant and his crew who worked so hard on this bid. But inside of our shop, this initiative was led by one man who really was vested in this process from the very, very beginning. And we handed the baton to Ben Grossman, who said, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to get in front of the right people. I'm going to drive this thing, and I'm going to get these games into the stadium. That's truly what ownership is all about. Finding owners who are so vested in a particular piece of your business that they want to say, okay, I'm going to get this done for you guys. And with the help of John Guiano and Bryant Pfeiffer, particularly inside of our organization, they brought these games home. So without those three leading this charge, we would not be sat inside of the stadium. So Ben, Bryant, John, thank you. Please give them a round of applause. And the last thing that I want to say today is this, that our purpose as a team, our why as a team, is through this world's game to inspire and unite our community. We're a diverse community. Whatever four teams walk out on this pitch for these games, they're going to be members of those countries who have moved to Minnesota, who are going to walk through these turnstiles and support their countries that night. This is a massive step for our franchise to achieve our goals and our purpose and our why around this beautiful game that we're all vested in, and to inspire and to unite our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. And now for the mayor of St. Paul, Melvin Carter.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You know, I'm really excited to be here, and I'm appreciative for everybody joining us here in St. Paul today. We've been really excited as this stadium has gone up. It seems like it was just a couple of months ago when we were signing the first beam and planting the first beam on this site. And now look at this. Every day we get a chance to drive by, and my children, my wife and I, we look and go, it's going to be so exciting to attend soccer games here. We're looking forward to seeing Minnesota United playing on this field. And boy, today gives us something even more to look forward to. It is incredible to think about that vision that you were talking about earlier, that vision that you said your dad was talking about, of the red, white, and blue here, of fans and teams from all over coming here, converging here, and not just being here physically, but through their televisions and through the internet, watching from over 100 different countries as the rebirth of U.S. soccer happens right here in St. Paul, Minnesota. You know, this stadium gives us the opportunity to bring the world's game to St. Paul, and the Gold Cup gives us an opportunity to do that on a world stage. That excites me because I think we'll get a chance to show the world what an incredible place the Twin Cities are. I think we'll get a chance to show the world the international, the multicultural, the multilingual place that these cities really are. And we'll get a chance to show the world what an incredible base of soccer fans that we have right here are. I'm excited for this. This is important for our community. We know this is a team sport. Soccer is a team sport. It can't just, even if you get a hat trick, even if you get a hat trick, somebody else has to be on the field, right? No, not at all. Well, I want to thank some of my partners, some of my teammates who are here today. I see Ward 1 City Council Member Di Tao here. Thank you for being here. It's great to see you. I see Ward 3 City Council Member Chris Tolber here. It's great to see you as well. You know, and we've got city staff and partners here from the city. I know our state representative, Rena Moran, couldn't be here today because she's at the Capitol fighting for our city and fighting for our community. So it's great to have a strong team. I'm excited for this. I'm looking forward to attending soccer games right here. And I'm looking forward next summer to us getting the chance to show our visitors from around the world what a warm welcome we can provide here in Minnesota, while our U.S. national team shows whatever visiting teams that show up how cold it is here. Thanks so much for being here.
Well said, my man. Well said. Good luck following that one. Now to the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry.
Well, thank you, Taylor Twellman. Thank you to Mayor Melvin Carter. This is a really proud moment for the Twin Cities. And while I would be remiss if I didn't admit that I'd been crying in my beer for a few months there because we didn't get this wonderful football team and wonderful stadium in Minneapolis, I can acknowledge that this is, one, an extraordinary facility, but two, it will do wonders for the Twin Cities region. Soccer is, of course, the world's beautiful game. It's a game that brings together cultures and perspectives, and the mindset of a soccer player is on the collective. It's team-oriented. It's working together. It's playing that pure and total football that we all aspire to ultimately achieve. I know Mayor Coleman played a major role in recruiting the stakeholders to get this stadium built, but for the sake of the team, I hope that's where his recruitment efforts ended, because no matter what he said, soccer is not just hockey without the ice and the sticks. And until recently, Minnesota kids who wanted soccer jerseys, they needed to wear other states. So now I see Minnesota United jerseys all over the Twin Cities, and there is something special about having role models in the community. When I was growing up, I looked to John Harkes and Tony Meola and Taylor Twellman a couple years later, and that's right. Marco Van Basten, Ruud Gullit, Frank Rijkaard, the whole crew, but now the next generation of Minnesotan kids get to experience their heroes firsthand, and I can't think of anything cooler. So this will be the very first competitive match the United States national team will play since they were eliminated in, as Taylor said, the debacle of Trinidad. So it's literally the most important game the U.S. will play in like 2 years. It's the beginning of what will be the effort to reinvent the U.S. team and restore its prominence. Because of this, interest in this game is going to be exceedingly high. And winning the Gold Cup match, it was possible because of our incredible new stadium here. Our new and exploding soccer market in the U.S. and in Minnesota, and of course a passionate fan base that makes each game played feel electric. having a venue like this stadium for big games has a positive impact on the local economy too, and estimates have shown that international games have an average economic impact of $5.5 million per game. So think about what Concacaf is going to bring. One of the beautiful parts of this game is how it brings people together, and that's the good news for our tourism industry and for the entire region. It's also a good reminder that even at times when it's easy to see divisions in the international community, we know that there is so much more that unites us. Soccer brings people together from all over the globe and, yes, helps us unite even if it's just for those 90 minutes of play. So thanks to all for your hard work. Minnesotans will have a place to be part of that great tradition with our state's first Major League Soccer stadium. And when people from North America, Central America, and the Caribbean all converge on the Twin Cities, they'll see the very best of what we have to offer. Huge thank you to Minnesota United FC, Major League Soccer, CONCACAF, and the City of St. Paul for bringing this opportunity to the Twin Cities. Extraordinary job all around.
Well said. And now for the Governor of Minnesota, Mark Dayton.
This is really a great day for the entire state of Minnesota. I want to thank Dr. McGuire, Mr. Grossman, and the entire organization who have brought Major League Soccer to Minnesota, brought a stadium to Minnesota, and now are bringing this superb international event. You know, back when I was in high school, soccer was the club sport. And now there's 70,000 kids in Minnesota that are participating in youth soccer at all levels. And after this team has been here for a decade, it'll be 170,000 or more. So you're not only adding enormously to the credentials of the state of Minnesota on a world stage, but you're also providing the inspiration and the opportunity for countless numbers of children, young people, to take part in the sport, to become fans, to understand, to cheer your team on, and to be part of this world game of football or soccer. It's just a tremendous tribute to all of you who worked so hard, taking this from a vision, and now look at your vision here, and it's going to be even more incredible a year from now. So to all of you who have made this possible, thank you very much on behalf of Minnesota. Thank you for all you're doing and bringing to our state, and we'll go for the gold. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Now, Francisco and Jurgen, can you come up here for the lovely gift exchange that I brought you?
Thank you.
Do the pictures right up.
Yeah.
Let me get out of the picture. Francisco, don't go anywhere, buddy. We're in media, and don't think I'm not going to let you walk away here without a couple questions.
Wow.
First and foremost, congratulations. Have you thought about it at all, what it's going to be like representing your country at the World Cup this summer?
Well, first of all, thank you everyone to be here. My pleasure to be here too. It's a dream come true for me, go to the World Cup, to be honest, since I've been playing soccer. I call it football in Costa Rica, but in the world. But
call it whatever you want.
Well, soccer. Well, I'm really excited to hit to the World Cup and represent my team, you know, because that's the team what I play, Minnesota United, and just excited to be here and happy for this.
What's it going to be like walking out of that stadium and hearing that Costa Rican national anthem in that opening game?
Right here?
No, at the World Cup.
Well, I mean, how I said before, it's a dream come true for me, and I'm gonna cry because I'm gonna be concentrating the game, but it's gonna be exciting.
I can guarantee you, your parents and family are gonna be crying. That's
probably,
for sure.
Probably, yes.
When you look at this stadium, I saw your face walking in here, and today's my first time seeing the stadium. But have you thought about that first Minnesota United game that's going to be here in front of this crowd? I'm not sure we ever thought that was going to happen. It's really going to happen. What's that going to be like?
Well, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. I think, and I said before, I've been playing 1.5 years in this league, and I've been playing all of the stadiums in this league. And I'm pretty sure this stadium is going to be the best stadium in MLS, 100%. And, well, I can't wait to play that game, the first game in this field in front of our fans. I want to see everybody who is here now watching that game too.
Thank you, Francisco. I appreciate it, my man. Good luck. Before we break up and head over to the Midpoint Event Center for media, we'll have pictures over there. Obviously, we'll mingle a little bit. There's a tradition we have here in Minnesota, and I say we because I was born here, even though I don't live here, where all of us are going to stand up and hold the scarves. But I'm going to leave you with one message, because there was a common theme that everyone talked about today. And as I looked at my phone before walking up on the stage, my dad sent a nice 35-word text about the 35,000 people at the old Met never got this opportunity. There is a Manny Lagos, there was a Taylor Twellman, there was a bunch of Minnesota United pro players from the state of Minnesota that never got that chance. Imagine being in this stadium when that first kid from Minnesota represents Minnesota United. That is where the real growth of the Twin Cities and this club and this sport is arriving. Because I'm telling you right now, as the governor said, there's plenty of soccer players in this state and there's plenty of soccer players in this city, but when that first one wears Minnesota United, that's going to be something else. So enjoy it. We'll see you over there, but before we go, scarves up, gentlemen. Do you want us in front of the microphone or no? Yeah. I'm a photographer as well if you guys want to sign me up later.